Hi everybody, I am Sean Govan of Honeydrop Farm, and when I first started beekeeping, I was confused by all the terminology. Frames, foundation, Langstroth, bunch of new words to learn. And in particular, foundation was confusing to me because I was thinking about the foundation of a house. What is concrete and rebar doing in a beehive, right? Well, that's not what foundation is. So, in a Langstroth beehive, which maybe I'll make another video what Langstroth means, you have things like this called frames. You drop them into the box, you pick them up out of the box, and the bees, you persuade them to build their combs for honey and for baby bees in these frames. It's like the frame of a picture, except that you put the instead of a picture in the wooden frame, you have a comb. The bees build there. So the trick is persuading the bees to build their comb in the frame so that when you pull the frames out to look at the combs, you don't tear everything to pieces. Because if you have a couple of frames next to each other and the bees build the comb like this across the frames, then you can't pull the frames out and look at the combs. So anyway, there's foundation is very simple. It's just a sheet of wax or of plastic that's completely coated in wax that goes in the frame. And then the bees build off of that as if it was the middle of their comb. So this is a sheet of wax foundation. And what it is just beeswax rolled super duper thin into a really thin sheet and then embossed with this hexagon pattern, which I'm sure you can see. And you stick it into a frame. It's just the right size to go into a frame like this. This is called a shallow frame. There's different sizes. This is the size of frame that's called a deep frame. And then those hexagons, the bees just lengthen them out into little tunnels or cells that, that should be about the length of a bee if everything's even. And then they just can store their honey in there, the queen can lay eggs in there, they can raise the baby bees in there. So when you buy a wax foundation like this, it'll come in this wax paper and sheets in stacks in a box all stacked up, and the wax paper keeps the wax from sticking together. But that's not the only option of foundation that you have. You also have plastic foundation. So there's yellow plastic and there's white plastic. There's yellow and white and black. So this is a really thick, sturdy thing that won't break. Sometimes with wax foundation, the comb can break. And oftentimes they'll sell foundation with wires running through it to strengthen it. And this isn't totally natural, but it's very sturdy, so if you need to shake bees off and do things like that, then it's good for not breaking the comb. But anyway, this is coated in beeswax, completely coated in a layer of beeswax. The bees don't even necessarily realize that the plastic is there. And it just snaps into and out of the frame like this. One thing, if you're a busy person trying to get into beekeeping, this could save you some time, and if you use plastic foundation. It is a little bit more expensive than wax, but it saves a lot of labor. And the bees don't seem to care either way what you use. So that is how that works. And if you want to be super cheap and you have plenty of time and you don't want to buy foundation, you can also go foundationless. That'll be a topic for another video, but you can see this frame doesn't have any foundation at all, but I call this a starter strip up here. Just a thin strip of foundation that's stuck into the top of the frame. And the bees, as you can see, have started drawing a comb in here, and they're following my starter strip. I'll do another video on that sometime. But that doesn't cost any money at all. The combs are very fragile, they're very easy to break. Everything is a lot more time consuming. If you have only a few hives, that could be a way to go if you want to go super cheap. So anyway, thanks for watching.